Ricotta cheese. Probably the most versatile cheese there is on the market today. You can find ricotta in almost any grocery store, but it's just so easy. I'm going to show you how to make it right now. Start by getting your largest sauce pot. You're going to need something big for all this magic to happen. Next, add 2 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy cream. If you're buying your milk from the grocery store, it will already be pasteurized, but if you're buying fresh milk, you'll need to pasteurize it yourself by heating the milk to 150 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 30 minutes. Allow the milk to cool before proceeding to the next step. That's basically how they pasteurize milk. I then added 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, but this is purely off preference. You can add more or less. This won't mess with the actual science of the cheese, and it's just strictly for the taste. Next, we're going to wait for our milk to hit 205 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just under a slight boil. So be sure to be stirring occasionally to make sure your milk doesn't scald on the bottom of your pan. When you've just hit that temperature, it's time to curdle your milk. You could really use any type of acid here, lemon juice, vinegar, or even citric acid, but I like the slight taste that lemon juice provides. We're going to turn the heat off and let it sit for about 5 minutes. Now this is when the magic really starts to happen. This is going to cause the milk to acidify and coagulate into watery whey and solid curds. That's just what we're looking for. Go ahead and grab a large bowl, definitely larger than this one. This wasn't big enough, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. A fine mesh strainer, but if you don't have a fine mesh strainer, a regular colander will work too, and some cheesecloth. But if you don't have that fine mesh strainer, the cheesecloth now will be absolutely mandatory. Slowly begin pouring your contents into your strainer and your bowl. Again, this bowl was not big enough and the liquid was building up on the bottom of my strainer, so I actually had to empty this out, pour half, empty it out again, and then pour the rest of the liquid out to ensure that nothing was sitting in liquid when I was trying to strain it. I mean, that would defeat the whole purpose of straining, right? Now let your cheese sit at either room temperature or in the fridge to allow any of the moisture to drain out. This is going to take about 2 hours or so, but is best done overnight. Then, transfer your cheese to a separate container and keep it in the fridge for about 4 days. The catch with making cheese from scratch like this is that it has a very short shelf life, so please, don't overmake and waste your cheese. It's actually a sin. I mean, unless you plan on eating it every day on toast for breakfast, which is what I usually do. Now I'm going to spit some facts at you while you watch this beautiful man make some beautiful toast. Drain your cheese really well. The longer and more thoroughly you drain your cheese, the creamier it will actually be. Also, too much heavy cream will weigh down your cheese, making it less fluffy. So if you're unhappy with the texture in this recipe, draw back on the heavy cream and suffice with a little bit of whole milk to equal it out. Make sure you don't throw any of that whey away. Hey now, this liquid is great for a lot of things, but honestly I like to marinate meats in it as the lactic acid helps tenderize. If you're unfamiliar with ricotta cheese and you have no idea where to put it, try putting it on toast just like this and cover it with good olive oil and obviously, yes, black winter truffles. If you don't have any of those things, it's totally fine too. There's obviously great ideas for pasta fillings or even pasta sauces. You can add this to lasagna. You can even add them to pancakes and make them fluffier. Honestly, the possibilities are endless and you should try them all. Eat this every day. I promise you, you'll live longer.